Hello, pickers of the internet. Today I will be attempting to build a 1970s supercar. That being 1945 isn't ideal, but we want to start by choosing an engine position that's relevant, so we want mid or rear engines. Now I'm thinking we could go with that, but it's 1955, so it's a little too dated. This being 1975 though is right on the year, so we'll be using this because it's open beta for the Unreal Engine automation. I don't believe we have any mods, so this is as close as we'll get to the Countach. Countach is actually a lot more angular than this, but this should still do the job okay. I think it's a little longer than this is showing as well, which is always something. I think we want a unitary construction with galvanized steel under tray. We can afford all this stuff. It's a supercar. We just have to realise we can't go crazy and over the top. Like, I don't think aluminium is really a thing yet on road cars, so that's something we have to remember. Now we can either put the engine in the front or the engine in the rear. I think I'll go rear. It is a Porsche body, so it's natural for this body to have the rear mounted engine. But moreover, more importantly, I think it's going to be closer to Lamborghini, which is mid-engined, and we should also get lovely traction on those rear wheels. Now, we've got double wishbone front and rear because it's the best technology available to us. We could put McPherson's strut on the rear, but then that would be using far inferior rear suspension to the front, and I want it matched up, really. That's a simple reason. We have one body style to choose from, which is that. Ooh, look at it. It doesn't look too bad now, I'll say that. Can I adjust it yet? No, I don't think I can. I can adjust that. We don't want more in the tail, though. We don't want too much more on the tail, should I say. A little extra tailwind, would I say, is okay. I think if we maybe bring that up a little. No, I'm not liking this. I think I've completely messed up the vehicle. Oh dear. What have I done? We can bring the doors back, but I'm not sure we want to, because it just makes the whole design look awkward. We could do that. Again, I don't really want to. It makes the whole thing look awkward. If we bring it all forwards, though, we could have maybe a fastback, would you call it? And since we want more weight on the front, that would barely hurt us. Visually, it might, though. Now, we can paint the car chrome. We don't really want that, though, because it just looks ridiculous to have the entire thing chrome like that. And I've just deleted a colour, which was completely stupid of me. But we still have Core 2 Duo Blue. Now, hopefully we can tweak this. What's Core 2 Duo colour? It was pretty much perfect to begin with, though, but I've just gone and messed it up. Yay! Now, we have two body things. I'm thinking we could go like the Ferrari 512 BB and perhaps make it two-tone. Ooh, pearl. Should we have it pearly? Yeah, I think that looks good, actually. Wheels. I just can't seem to get off the menu. I'm trying to get off, so I'm confused. There we go. We're off it now. I did something. We don't want carbon fibre. So, do we have all car. Ooh, chrome window trim. That seems very relevant for the time, so we'll go with that. We should have bumpers front and rear. Yes, they can also be chrome, because that'll just paint those parts. I don't know, would you want that on a supercar? I'd say so. If we could bring the lower part down, which I don't think we can do. No, we only adjust the entire part there. We can't just adjust the part below the bumper. Disappointing. We have chrome mirrors too. Maybe more chrome than I really should have on this, but it's working for me. That seems to be car trim, but it's not doing anything. Okay, we can't go with two-tone. That's something. Chrome wheels. Maybe. No. Plastic wheels on a supercar. I don't think we want that. Now, what else do we have? pretty pink. Is that? Yeah, it's pretty pink. So I think just steel looks quite good. Maybe I could do the same with the bumpers. Slightly less chromy, but it still has a kind of effect to it. Where's the windows again? Window trim. Yeah, I think if I use steel for those parts, it's less chromy, but it still looks good on the car. Now, we can go with an aerial, apparently. Let's do that. Ooh, snap it to the middle, please. There we go. Probably more modern aerial, but it's a good feature to mess around with anyway, just see how it works, because I've not used it before. Now, what else do we have? We have a number plates. They should snap. We can make it a little bigger because it's tiny. Ooh, and we can put it on the bumper. That's very good indeed. We can add it to the rear bumper as well, hopefully. There we go. My most in-depth design work yet? I think not, but what does it matter? We can adjust the wheels while we're here. They don't look very 70s-y. They look very late 90s to me. These look okay. So, how about those? I think these ones. Hopefully we can adjust the size somewhere. No, it's not scrolling. Grill. We need a grill, or else it's not going to get cooled at all. I think this one. If we just have this grill down here, that should give us all the cooling we need. Oh, I say that. It's rear engined, must I remember. So, flip it over. Looks a little sad now. But hey, it works. Who am I to complain? And we need some headlights. Come on. Ooh, wings and spoilers. What's the difference? Spoilers ruin your car. I think I've stuck a spoiler somewhere. I'm not quite sure where. But yes, there is a spoiler somewhere. I don't know. Where are you? Maybe I didn't stick a spoiler somewhere. That one will have to be minimized. Yeah, I'm not sure I like that at all. But it should provide us with some aero. And we can get a lip on the front. There we go. Ooh dear, stretching it too far. There we go. There is our start of our vehicle. We just need some headlights and then I think we can move on for the time being. Where are you hiding? Indicators, yes, we can add some of those. Oh right, these don't snap. I'm just thinking, I'm trying to get them to snap, but I can't. So, can we still switch them? Yes, we can. I prefer those, they fit a little better. And we need some lights. Headlights, yes. Can't really see anything that I really like, though. Ooh. We could try some of these. It's looking a lot like a really bad Porsche rip-off at the moment, though. That is quite a problem. Potential Porsche owners won't be happy, as well as Porsche themselves. I think I'll make those body colour. No! I've got double lights. Make those body colour. They'll look slightly better. So, there is our car for the time being. I could have made more of a mess of it than I did. Thankfully I didn't. Now we have the engine. Inline 4 turbo. No, that is a ridiculous idea though for such a vehicle. Inline 6? I probably wouldn't fit that in. No, I wouldn't actually. We can have different degrees of engine. I'm thinking a 60-degree V6 would be good for size. A V8 would be the most reasonable though, and I've opened a menu there. There's a V8. And we can go with a pushrod head, I think. Make it an American style of engine. Similar size to Countach now, but we can make it bigger. Well, not too much bigger. This is on the back of a car, I must remember that. But I think we can make it 5 litres quite happily. Now, it is a supercar though. I'm thinking overhead cam would be a better option. 4 valve per cylinder isn't really a thing yet, so I can't go that far, but overhead cam should be pretty well established in the day. And for some reason we're on 2017, I've just realised that. Come on. Having a difficult transition at the moment. I'll return when I've built the engine. Okay, so I feel like I've put something together here worth my time, really. It doesn't rev very high, 5800 RPM, and that's because, well, the engine wants to explode, which is annoying, but I have to perhaps accept a power compromise just because of that. Still, the power curve itself is reasonably nice, so I'm happy enough with it, as I say. 20 horsepower off a Countach engine, that's 20 horsepower more powerful than my vehicle, so I'll have to think about that in future, and how I'll get it to compete if it's not lighter. But we do have a full aluminium block, we have a direct acting overhead cam, head and valves, all the same stuff as before. I have set this stuff up, although, yeah, I have set that to billet steel, again, although forged steel it has absolutely no problem with, because it's presumably not at a high enough limit. You'll see 7200 RPM, I believe, is the maximum, and it looks like we're maxing out at 7000, so no, 6500 RPM even. So if we just look along here, it has its limits, yes. There we go, 6500. So having a perhaps lower level of air is not really harmful. I could even get away with cast iron without causing stupid levels of damage to the engine, although let's go with forged steel because there's no major reason not to. The conrods, yeah, they're engineered pretty intensely to deal with the high pressures of this engine, as are the pistons, which no other piston will really cope. Even forged pistons are really struggling to cope with such a on-edge engine like this. It only revs to 6500 RPM, remember, but because it's a 6 litre V8, it is under pressure. 6% though, to me, doesn't seem too bad, so I just decided I'll put up with it. I have double checked all this stuff, and the 60 and 90 degree engines, they all are generally the same. Fuel efficiency is quite low though, if I can find it. There we go, 14.1% efficiency. That is not great. But we have 72 ignition timing. Again, I've done that precisely to try and get me the best power available. I can speak, honestly. And the fuel mixture is still lean, because I'm pretty sure, if we just get rid of whatever's up there, carburetor versus injection is still up. Oh, go off. There we go. And if we do that, we have to consider the economy, which will probably go down. We're looking at fuel efficiency for now, let's say. Yeah, that starts to leap down. That's why I've not messed with it. Maybe that's what the Lamborghini engineers did though back in the 70s. Maybe they put the fuel mixture up in order to get the power. But I've just found a different way to do it by using a higher amount of displacement. So all in all, different ways of making the same power, I guess. Although we do make more torque being a 50%-ish larger engine. The Lamborghini makes 361 Newton meters and we have 454 Newton meters. So very strong torque, and one of the reasons I wanted to use an American style of engine over what's available typically in European supercars. We have twin 4-barrel carburetors. We're going to need a lot of air to get pushed into this engine if we are to cool it. And I didn't want to go for injection because injection still seems a little too advanced for the 1970s. So that's what I've ended up with. I also didn't want to get ridiculous. Like, you can just have 4 carburetors, but it's not really any more effective. So you'll see I gained 5 horsepower, but it's nothing to write home about, given you have to put double the number of carburetors to get that power. I am on a performance intake somehow. I don't dare change it now though, because it's had to be engineered so aggressively to try and even compete with a Lamborghini engine. And it revs low as well. 6500 is not a high RPM red line, and you know, I'm pretty sure V8s today rev a lot higher, but what did we have to work with back then? Now, if I just show you this, we don't have a turbo. We can remove all stuff now with the floating carburetors. We can remove the rocker cover and hopefully see this in action. Yeah, there we go. No, we need to remove the exhaust as well, can we? Headers, there we go. There's our engine in action. Now, I can change the exhaust size, although that doesn't come to any good. That means a talk a bit later. I did go for double reverse flow mufflers quite early on, actually. Reason for that being it very slightly, well, perhaps more prominently in this particular case, increases the kind of mid-range performance of the engine, so that's why I've done it. Also, the engine is fairly smooth now. It was hideously rough before in the power of the delivery and all that, but I'm glad it's not like that anymore. Still, let's rev it and see how it sounds. Now, I'm not sure whether the speedometer's off or something, but it seems to claim it only revs to 4,000 when it says it revs to 6,000 on the top and above, so I'm guessing that's just something that's slightly off in that particular respect. I didn't see 350 there actually. Maybe it just rounded it up to 350 from 349.9. Odd, either way. Now, we don't want an automatic transmission. I'm thinking we want a 5-speed manual and rear-wheel drive, naturally, if I've not selected that already. I'm sorry, I'm going back here. I could have just been really stupid. So we've got the engine mounted in the rear. Maybe we select that later. I'm still new to this beta thingy, so I'm making stupid mistakes all over the place. And moving on. There we go. 5-speed manual. We can go with top speed. I'll guess this will be capable of about 170 miles per hour. So say it there for now. And that's my guess. It may be capable of more or less, who knows. And we want a open differential because it's generally the safe option. A manual locker or an automatic locker locking up all over the place when you're trying to get good lap times, you don't really want that. Now we could increase the quality. I may come back and do that before I take it around the test track, but for now I'll just leave it on 0. And yeah, it's a strange looking vehicle. I think we want sport compound tyres, maybe even semi-slicks, because it was a very powerful vehicle for the day. Now, I'll leave it on sport compound. They're not too horrible. It seems like it's stuck to 175 though, and we do not want that. Oh dear. It's been a bit odd. Have I missed something out? Please don't tell me I've missed something out. I can move the wheels out, I just can't seem to make them wider. It may be something I realised in building muscle cars. Maybe we need smaller wheels to make them wider. Yeah, there we go. 285 on the rear. They are nice wheels now. How big can we get the wheels while keeping the 285s? Not very big. Mind, they are 17s. So that gives us 2 15s front and rear. I don't think I want to go below 12 or even 13-inch wheels. That's a problem. How very odd. If we go with semi-slicks, does that change it? Yeah, I mean, it is slightly sad, actually. How are we supposed to put down all this power through all but really narrow tyres? Oh dear. As I say, below 13 inches it starts looking really horrible, so I don't want that. And I've also got what appear to be gaping holes in my car where the headlights were. It's a ghost. Now, I think I could have about 205s, 215s. It gives some divide, although I don't know. Give it some stagger, yes. I think 205. I don't want to compromise my braking too much. And alloy. We could go. For. Now we'll go with 2 piston solid discs, or 1 piston actually. Should be all we need. Can make them 250mm. And make them 65% race bias, I think. We'll do the same with the rear. But you can have solid disc brakes. You can have solid discs all round if we want. But do we? Or do we want drums? I think I'm saying drums. Saying 200 and 210? 205, no, 210mm drums. That should do the job of braking it fairly nicely. This is a weird vehicle I'm building here, and I feel the tyres won't be wide enough. I really do. Thankfully it's a more compact car, so at least in comparison to the size and perhaps weight of the vehicle, the tyres are wider. Now look at that though. If we just look under there, you can see the engine. It's really tightly in the back of this vehicle. It would not cope well with rear end collisions, that's for sure. Now, fully clad under tray. I think we want that. Try and keep this thing as slippery as possible. Cooling airflow. Now, cooling capacity, there we go. I think we want to match this up with required cooling. So we'll do that. Somewhat. And then we can have some brake airflow. Keep those lovely discs nice and cool. So how much have we got now? We can reduce that number. Ooh, can have the exact amount, but I don't want that. It's probably not a very reliable option. So there we go. There's our ridiculous vehicle. We can have 4 seats. How would you fit more people in the back with that huge engine there? I don't know. Well, I guess it's behind the wheels, that's something, but still, you know, how would you do it? I don't know, it would be a very tight squeeze. Anyway, anything to sell more units. And we can go with a basic radio, perhaps. No, we're going with a premium one. And hydraulic power steering, because you need it to keep this beast under control. We'll go with, for the time, quite advanced safety, I think. And should we go with conventional suspension, but with better dampers? I think we'll go with progressive. It is a supercar after all, although there is hydro pneumatic. But that's more kind of Citroen floaty barge. You wouldn't typically see that type of suspension on a supercar. And why am I saying it for comfort? It's a sports car. You know, it's not the kind of vehicle you want comfort suspension on, because it's got, what is for the time, so much power. Now, we've got overview here. Ooh. Can we go back to the transmission and adjust it now? Or will it be funny? I'm pretty sure it was funny before. Oh no, it's working. 170. Have I looked at the aerodynamics though? Because if I look at the aerodynamics, that might well change it. It just, I can't seem to see them anywhere, which is odd. Oh yeah, also, I'm thinking semi-slicks because the tyres are so narrow. I didn't think I would go this way, but when you're talking tyres as narrow as this, you do want it. Really do. Now, aerodynamics, where are you hiding? I can't see it right now, so I'll have to just adjust the transmission and deal with it that way. So, 170.756. For some reason that doesn't change. I'll leave it about there, that should be good. And the gearing. Does it say 0 to 60 anywhere? No, I don't know. Longitudinal rear-wheel drive, there's drive type. Ah, there we go. No, is that 0 to 60? It's hard to say. So, 11.3, that's 0.7. What speed is that? Miles per hour? 12. I'm completely confused by this. It seems to have 0 to 20 miles per hour, which in this case is not relevant because it's a 350 horsepower supercar. But still, there's our vehicle. So I'll try and adjust the aerodynamics and then take it round the test track, and I'll return when I've done it. Okay, so here I have my finished vehicle. There has been the odd change that I want to go through with. Firstly, you can see the engine. It's 365 horsepower, not 350. I basically found out I could change the exhaust because I stupidly left it on cast iron or something, and that was avoiding making the power. But I got 15 horsepower that way, so that's all good. I don't think I've got a waste carburetor on. No, I haven't. If I'd done that, that would be a pretty foolish mistake. But we're 5 horsepower off the Lamborghini, so I'm happy enough with that. And it is a much lighter car. We're saying 1062 kilograms there. 1063, I guess, if you round it upwards. And the countach is 1300, so we have a clear weight advantage here. For reasons I don't quite understand though, it's saying there's 82% front, 18 rear. I think it's got that the other way around, although it does still seem entirely ridiculous that there would be that much weight over the rear. The engine is a fifth of the weight of the vehicle, more or less, but still it seems like quite a bit to be over the rear. So I'm highly doubtful that is true. The grille, I've only needed that one because, I don't know, presumably so much air gets forced in there. I could add vents on the side or something, but I can't really be bothered. And we have actually got a marked edge over the countach as well, other than weight, but it's probably caused by the weight, and that is the miles per gallon. If I look somewhere, hopefully I can see it. It was about 16. The figures are so hard to find on here for me, but it was 16 miles per gallon. Come on, where are you hiding? We've got a missing 5-gear manual, apparently. We've got 4.7 seconds, 0 to 60. I'll mention now the Lamborghini is 14.7 miles per gallon, so 16.4, I believe it is better than what that car had. So, all in all, pretty good there. We've got standard fuel we're running it on. There's no downforce that actually makes lift, and that's because I couldn't seem to control it. It had the options, but they were greyed out, so I'm guessing it's a case of aerodynamics haven't been invented yet, even though they have. And I finally found the economy here, where I'm moving my mouse, 16.4 miles per gallon. And, yes, I forgot what I was saying, the aerodynamics were greyed out, so although we would have had some kind of primitive aerodynamics in 1975, they wouldn't let me use them, sadly. We've got not too bad body roll, and it sits quite low. I did adjust the ride height myself to the point I felt it looked sensible for a supercar of the 1970s. I like it though. I've created something good here. Now, there are a few other changes that I'll have to go through. The engine here, yeah, just let it burble. The exhaust, yeah, it was on short cast, and I couldn't get it even lower. But no, I moved it to long tubular, yes. and I did the adjustments to go with that. There's waist tubular as well, but I don't believe that's mass producible, so I went with long tubular. It's a supercar, so we can have a fancy exhaust and get away with it. Quality on everything is on +2, by the way, but just listen to this burble. It's a very interesting sound because down here it burbles like an American muscle car engine, but you look higher up on the RPM range and it does kind of become a bit more Lamborghini-like, and so it is, I guess, revving high there. Although it's not a high revving engine, that's one of the highest points for redlining. I think, yeah, we can also get 365. I compromised the torque slightly. I lost about 1 torque, but I figured torque is not crazy important here. We've got 450 plus, so we don't need to worry about torque as such. Torque curve is actually very nice in the way it curves over. It's got its instabilities, but it's not bad by any means. It says 198.7 miles per hour. Or no, 173.987. Yes, I confused myself. That's not too bad again for the time. We've built a good car here. It's largely helped by the weight as well. I did go to solid disc brakes all around because I felt having drum brakes on a supercar was a little poor even in the 70s. I also realised somehow by some magic trick I could fit 245s. I did mess with the tyre diameter, but that's about it. If you look here, that does change what you can fit. It won't go any larger than 600 though, so I can't use that as a way to get any wider rear tyres. And they are semi-slicks because they're still extremely narrow. But 245s are better than 215s if you ask me. And that's probably somewhat enough to put the power down. It is on sport suspension, I'll get that over with now. And we've got just a premium interior. We should probably have gone with luxury if we really wanted it to feel expensive, but we've got higher quality stuff here, and all in all it does save weight. But as a matter of fact, just look, see what the weight is. I probably should have gone with sport interior actually. Mind, engineering time is a little lower, and it's lighter, but it's not as comfortable. And to be honest, it's low slung and sporty, so we want to at least have some comfortable seats to compensate for that. It is just standard sport setup here. I've not messed with this too much, just whatever the game thinks is best. And how could I forget quality +2 on here? Yeah, I don't think that's going to make a huge difference though to the lap time. It'll increase it if anything, but I don't want to take it round again. I've already done it. And for the sake of what's probably very tiny amounts, I can't justify it. Now, the price is $19,250, which sounds far lower than it should be, but I'm guessing it's just the way currencies change over time and stuff. And I've just thought that maybe I should put 30% profit on it because we're not going to make many of these. We can't use that as an excuse to lower the profit margin per unit and make it back. So I think 20% profit should do us good. We're still making a fifth profit on the vehicle. I mean, you can't complain about that. And it comes to $21,000 exactly. Now, if we're looking at Gasme, they see it as a kind of premium track car and a hypercar, as you would see it. For the time, this would have been a very quick car had it been on the market. And we have a well, yeah, with this Funia, which doesn't really know what to make of it. But I think above all else, it's a convertible sport budget, even though it's not a convertible. And they think it's a utilitarian, even though it has 0 for utility. So, yes, you confuse me. But anyway, what can I say? Arcania, where are you? Maybe it just doesn't meet the minimum safety requirements, so everyone's importing them illegally or something. It comes up as a hypercar here again. This looks like the best nation to sell it in for kind of market interest and everything. Now, I don't know what else I can talk about here because I think I've gone through it all. 168 miles per hour is apparently the top speed. Again, this is not crazy fast, but it's reasonable. all entirely reasonable. And I have just thought, before I finish, I've got to name the vehicle and talk about the time very briefly. So I can do that. And yes, I am recording. I had a minor panic there. But anyway, what should we call it? I'm thinking we do have the Speedy Bob sports car. Yep. Yeah, this is called the Retro Bob because it's kind of an old Speedy Bob. Not my best naming logic yet, but it's something. And I'm thinking Turbo. No, it's a massively inappropriate name because it just doesn't have a turbo. But I'm thinking V8 should be a suitable trim. Maybe we could have an inline 6 to sit below this or something, but with the way this engine barely fits in as a 6-litre V8, I think we'd struggle. I did look at inline 6s, I could fit about a 2.2 litre at best, so I don't really want to do that. It's a nice engine though, 365 horsepower from a 6-litre engine, even though it's not quite as efficient as the Lamborghini engine. I think it will probably be more reliable, or just failing that, more efficient somewhat. So we're not an entire failure here. The engine can be called my Retro Bob V8 stock. No, we need 75. 1975. Because this trim is a 75, although, like the Countach, we may come back to this in, say, 10 years and update it. As I did with the Tortoise, I believe. I updated it and then I added a turbocharger to kind of keep it with the times, keep the vehicle relevant. In the same way many British Leyland vehicles, I believe, did. They refreshed them, but they didn't have a lot of money, so they couldn't just go and bring out a new car every 5 years. But still, 16 valve V8, it's good to finish off here. The time? Yes, I did mention the Speedy Bob. It's just behind that, within a second of the standard Speedy Bob. Below the Speedy Bob RS though, but then that Speedy Bob RS was very, very quick. And I'm very, very content with this performance because, remember, this is just a 70s vehicle. It's a 1975 competing with a 2017, I believe. We're talking 40 years plus of progress, technically, in that time frame. And for this vehicle to compete, it's really quite impressive. I mean, at least you can say all the money you've spent on this, or $21,000, hasn't gone to waste, which I think is a nice thing to say. Now, the vehicles it's come just above is the Prison Van for Kids and the Boatimac hatchback. The Prison Van for Kids was basically a Zafira VXR with a massive V6, so yeah, we avoided something by beating an MPV, although it was on sports suspension, which I guess offers it some revival. The Speedy Bob was on comfort suspension, but it was designed as an everyday car. The RS was designed as a track car, hence why I had that on the standard suspension. But still, I'm going to leave it here for today and say goodbye until another day.